it's almost as if vaccination days here. In some senses, it feels like Victory Day as well. What's your sense of how excited people are about getting this vaccine? In so many countries across the world, we're seeing some vaccine apprehension and skepticism. It turns out in India, skepticism is lesser according to some surveys that have come out. But what's the response the government has picked up? When these vaccines are rolled out, how do you see the response panning out?
Thank you very much, Rahul. It's a pleasure to be here. Vaccines being rolled out in India instill a sense of amazement at the scale and scope of what we're doing and the timelines into which all this is compressed. Even our health workers and our frontline workers together, about 3 crores, that's 30 million people, constitute populations of many countries put together. So it's an enormous part, even this early stage. Now, there is, of course, a sense of apprehension among some people, much less in India than elsewhere in the world. And our communication strategy is important to convey that vaccines are the only escape from the pandemic, and vaccination saves lives. In addition, we have to deal with vaccine eagerness, in which people want to get vaccines soon, and the assurance should be there and is there that production is ramping up, and soon as these early stage vaccinations start rolling out, people for the priority groups above 50 will start getting it, and then others will get it. So India's got an enormous manufacturing capacity. More and more vaccines will go through the process of approval, and therefore vaccines will not be in short supply for our population, and they need to be assured.
There's been some chatter about the differential prices at which the vaccines have been signed up. The Serum Institute Covishield signed up at about 200 rupees a dose, whereas the Bharat Biotech vaccine signed up at 300 rupees a dose. Questions being asked, if they do exactly the same thing or roughly the same thing, why is there such a big price differential? Questions being asked about transparency, about accountability in the purchase agreements, and the manner in which these purchases have been rolled out, sir.
Thank you. The exact pricing for each vaccine is decided by looking at what the production costs are, what the other transportation and other costs are, and what is a reasonable sum. One important point we must keep in mind, no matter which vaccine we talk about now, that the healthcare workers and frontline workers are being supported entirely by, they will get the vaccine free of cost. The companies have been very forthcoming in keeping their costs to a minimum, maybe at cost or even below cost. So it must be appreciated that these discussions have taken place fully, and that's how the cost is decided. It's very important to roll out the vaccines well, and both companies and government negotiations have been looked at it from that perspective. Or interactions, I should say, because companies have been very forthcoming in keeping the price.
I want to go across now to Jai Pratap Singh, Health and Family Welfare Minister in the government of Uttar Pradesh. जय प्रताप सिंह साहब, आप बताएं हमारे दर्शकों की उत्तर प्रदेश में क्या तैयारी है? वैक्सीन कार्यक्रम ठीक से चले, आपके राज्य में सही से लोगों को टीका लगे, कितने कॉन्फिडेंट हैं आप अपनी तैयारियों से इस वक्त?
हम पहले से ही कॉन्फिडेंट हैं, और इसलिए कॉन्फिडेंट है कि 10 महीना पहले जब हमने कोविड वैश्विक महामारी का प्रबंधन का कार्य शुरू किया था, सिस्टमैटिकली हमने एक एक चीज की तैयारी की। वो पूरा 10 महीना हमारे डॉक्टर्स और हमारे पैरामेडिकल और स्टाफ जितने भी लोग हैं, उनके लगातार मेहनत से 24 आवर्स के वर्किंग से जितना भी हमने मैक्सिमम आउटपुट दिलवाया, उसी के कारण आज उत्तर प्रदेश में अपनी जनसंख्या के आधार पर हमारे सबसे कम केसेस हुए हैं और सबसे कम मृत्यु भी हुई है परसेंटेज के हिसाब से, और WHO ने इस बात को पूरी तरह सराहा भी है। और इसके बाद ये जो बहुत बड़ा अभियान प्रारंभ हो रहा है 16 तारीख से, इसकी पूरी तैयारी लगभग 1 महीना पहले से ट्रेनिंग से लेके नीचे स्तर तक हमारे सभी डॉक्टर्स, हमारे सभी पैरामेडिकल, हमारे सभी वैक्सीनेटर्स सबको सेंसिटाइज करते हुए उनका ट्रेनिंग परफेक्ट करने के लिए 3 राउंड्स का हमने ड्राई रन किया, रिहर्सल किया। लास्ट राउंड अभी हमने 11 तारीख को कल किया था, उसमें हर एक जनपद के हर एक सीएचसी एंड डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल पर ये ट्रायल्स हुए। उसमें उस एसओपी गाइडलाइन को या उसकी जो प्रक्रिया है, माइन्यूटेस्ट जो वो था, उसका प्रक्रिया था, उसको एक एक करके हमने उसको रिफ्रेश किया, ट्रेनिंग किया और इंश्योर किया कि सभी लोग उसको ठीक से वो प्रक्रिया को अपनाएंगे, ताकि 16 को जब हमको शुरू करना होगा तो हमारा एक एक साइट पर हमारे एक उसका जो वैक्सीनेशन होगा वो पूरी तरह से विदाउट एनी मिस्टेक होना चाहिए। ये हमने इंश्योर किया है अभी तक।